be okay for some, but it wasn't for me. Have to be completely celibate, completely to the Lord, because I'm with the Blessed Mother. I was so worried about my wife being jealous of the Blessed Mother in the beginning, because I'd just be talking about her all the time, but she never was. She told me later she was okay with that. But I love the Blessed Mother dearly, and she is real to me as my wife is. As I stand here, you know, away from both of them, they both as real to me as each other. I mean, my wife in the physical world is just as real as the Blessed Mother in the spiritual world, to my mind. So celibacy is the ceasing of the violent act of using another person to gratify your sexual pleasure. That's what it comes down to. Unless you're having children. You see, that's what it's all about. Nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to talk with it. The whole thing in the Bible is we're using sex for pleasure instead of having kids. And that is a no-no. And that's where everybody says, I'm off board. I'm not with God in that one. Well, guess what? You're going to have to deal with it when you die. You can suck all that pleasure in now, but you're going to have to pay for it. It's a right and just universe. And it's not just for you to do that kind of an action all the time without giving back. You're taking, especially from your spouse, your girlfriend, or whoever, you're using that person to satisfy your sexual desire. Whoa, somebody coming. Hey guy, how you doing? See, and a monk doesn't look at a pretty girl. As soon as he sees her, he has to divert his eyes away from her face. If they're not a pretty girl, well, you know, you don't have a problem. But if it's a pretty girl, to your mind, you have to draw your eyes right away. The first look is free. The second one you pay for. That's what we talk about all the time. Every time you hear a monk say, the first one's free. So, a big enjoyment in my walk is all the everything to do with celibacy. Just like that interaction right there. You know what a joy it is for me to look away? I look away and I'm looking in the Blessed Mother's face and she's smiling. She says, thank you, son. Celibacy. Check it out. I mean, research it. Think about it. Ponder it. Contemplate it. What's going on with that? What are you doing with it? What is your drive? Think about what your priority is. You're like, no, I don't want anything to do with the Holy Past. I want this. This sexual gratification. I want this. What else is there to it? You changing the world when you have your sexual act? Is the other person being changed, totally feeling loved and adored? And feel so good they go to God? No, I don't think that's going on. So many spouses just do it for their, it's so horrible. They do it for the other, which is a good thing, but the other person doesn't realize what's going on. That's what the horrible part is. The woman who doesn't want anything to do with sex anymore and does it for her husband is a saint. But on his end, he's not even thinking about that she feels that way. So my life as a monk who is married, a friar, is to make my wife the happiest person in the world and give her everything she needs. Supply all her needs. That's my job. And obviously after 14 years, that wasn't one of her needs, was it? She didn't want anything to do with it either. Of course the Lord does that. You know, he's not going to touch a married man who wants to be a monk now. He's not going to give him a wife who's, you know, promiscuous. So he gave me the best wife in the world, by the way, guys. I don't know if I told you that, but I am the luckiest man in the world to have this woman. This wonderful, wonderful woman. Keeps me straight. I can't, you know, I can get mad. She just takes it and gives it back sometimes, but she just endures. And so when I get my little misfit, I mean, a little piss fit, you know, and I get mad for like 5 minutes. My anger is so short-lived. It's the outburst, the impulse. I still haven't got that one. I still haven't got that one. I can't be like that guru who could just like, oh, just take that hit on the head, you know, and smile and turn the other cheek like the Lord says. I'm not there yet. It's my last path. This lady's going off the beaten path. Oh, because there's water over here. See, she knows. I'm going to go around this way. Lady, her name's Lady, and I love our lady. And it's funny is I didn't name the dog, and the kids did. So I follow our lady, and I follow my lady. All right, guys. I can't think anything else about that. I know it's upsetting for some of you to hear this about. Well, here's one more thing. I guess I could. Adam and Eve in the garden. Yo, guys. We all know in the religious, all us people in the monasteries, it wasn't an apple. The Lord, goodness, He can't put out things like the truth because it'll just be, you know, children are reading these things. Anyway, it's a sexual act, guys. That's what happened. If you didn't figure that out by now, you haven't been giving it much thought. The sexual act happened before God got a chance to talk to them about what it was for. Can you believe that? They did it so early. They were, I don't know how, this happened real early in the garden. That's frightening, isn't it? Well, anyway, Adam is in contemplation with God most of the time. Most of the time, he's standing there in deep rapture with God. And so, after Eve is born, well, listen to this. Eve coming out. Eve being born, coming out of Adam's body. Listen what St. Emmerich said, because she has visions of these things. They're wonderful books. You got to read St. Emmerich and the life of Christ and the life of the world, Genesis. So when Eve is coming out of the body, this doesn't happen, but it's as if this happened. She was craning her neck for the apple as she was coming out. That is the deep state of the female. The female is purely attached to the physical environment. That's what they're here for. They love that stuff. And us men, we could help them and take care of them, but our job is to be with God. So she pulled him away from contemplation, had him do the sex acts before God told him it was for procreation and not for pleasure. That's what happened. So they had sex, God comes back, they're all freaked out, try to hide themselves. They put the fig leaves on, which has, it's like poison ivy, by the way, guys. So they got poison ivy all over their genitals from putting fig leaves on. So God comes back and said, what you do, they're full of guilt because they did this act. They did the sexual act, guys. That was the first thing that happened. And you think as a monk that we know this and we're going to dabble in that area? Holy moly, no. All right, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I think I'm running out of time here on the tape. Yeah, 17 minutes. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.